You probably suck at using Claude Code, or maybe you're not using it at all, which is even worse. But in this video, I'm gonna break down exactly how I use it as an AI founder. I run multiple different AI companies at this point, how I use it myself to automate certain parts of my roles, but that can also be taken to whether you're a student or an employee trying to automate your entire degree or just parts of your work, or you're a business owner looking to learn this technology for yourself or teach it to your team. This is the exact training I put all my staff through so that they could use it themselves and automate certain parts of their tasks. This is probably the best general purpose AI tool for productivity right now. When set up correctly and when used correctly, it can automate up to 90% of all the work that you do. So in this video, I'm going to be breaking down the exact template that I use and give to my staff so that they could start and create their first workspace. I'll be breaking down the 4 biggest mistakes that I see beginners make that stop them from getting the most out of it. And then I'm going to be showing you step by step how to get this set up on your machine the right way as a beginner so that you can use all the sort of commands and shortcuts that I use to do this as quickly as possible. And then show you a real and live example of me using the template to automate certain parts of my own workflows so you can see how it works in action. I haven't seen anyone else on YouTube dropping this sort of sauce on Claude Code, so let's jump right into it. Okay, so we've got all this to go through, but the first thing that you need to understand is that Claude Code is built up of agents. And an agent acts as a digital employee. So what does that mean? Now, to power these digital employees, you need to give them context, rules, directions on exactly what you want them to do for you. Now, think about an actual employee, right? If you hire someone for your business and they sit down at that desk and you don't give them any instructions or you don't train them on their specific role and you don't tell them anything, they're not really going to be very useful for you. They're not going to do anything. And that's the same exact thing here. If you don't give your employee, your digital employee, the agent, directions on exactly what you want it to do, how can you expect it to do the correct things? So coming down here, to set up these digital employees, you have something that's called a workspace. And a workspace is exactly what we talked about before. So it's a set of instructions that you give to your agent so that it can do the right things that you want it to do. To put it simply, it's a set of context and knowledge that you give to your employee structured properly so that it has all the knowledge that it needs to do the certain task for you. Essentially, it's one folder on your computer that holds all the information Claude needs to do whatever you want. This is Cursor. It's a code editor. Now, I know you're non-technical, neither am I, but essentially all we're doing here is chatting back and forth with it. We're not coding here whatsoever. Literally, all we're doing is talking like a chatbot in Claude in this workspace. So it's one folder right here, and inside there's a bunch of other folders, and that's it. We'll get into it a little later on, what these things in the folder do. So when you're thinking about using Claude to create a workspace to automate parts of your work, you need to think of it as that workspace. So you need to give it context to know who you are, know what you do, know how you work, know exactly what you like. So for a workspace, I find it most helpful to split it up based off key functions. So as a business owner, I run multiple different companies. So I have a different workspace, a separate workspace for every single one of my businesses. That's just how I found I'm the most productive and it gives me the best information back. I like to think of it like a digital teammate or employee for each one of my different businesses. So for my consulting wing within my business, so audits and consulting calls with business owners, I have one agent set up, one workspace set up. For my agency, selling high ticket AI agents and workflows to businesses and streamlining their operations, I have another workspace. And then lastly, for my community, basically content, social media like I'm doing here, I have another workspace that helps me organize all that information. And like I said before, I keep them separate so that each one stays super sharp, because what a lot of people think, especially if you're a beginner getting started with prompting these AI tools, is that, oh, I'm going to feed it so much information so it thinks exactly like me. And that's great. But if you feed an AI model too much information, if you feed your workspace too much, you overload it with everything, with your agency, with your consulting, with your education, with your YouTube content, it'll honestly get overloaded, right? And I personally found that condensing them into their own workspaces just makes them think way smoother, makes them give me way more accurate answers. Because if you want to train an employee, right, think of ChatGPT as the overarching. I've personally just found that training each of these on their own and creating a separate workspace is the best way to go about this, because one, you want the most accurate answers. You don't want it to think maybe, oh shoot, is this proposal for the YouTube video you're filming or a high contract that you're trying to sell a $20,000 AI agent package, right? You don't want it to be confusing information. I found separate the workspaces and that's your best bet. So if you're a regular person, maybe you have one for your school, one for a side hustle, one for your job. Or maybe you're a business owner, you have one for yourself, maybe you have one for your company and one for your employees to use, right? I've just found separate them. That's the best way to go about this. So a quick example and a real use case for me is making making these videos. And the part that eats up a lot of my time isn't necessarily me sitting in front of the camera filming the video. It's all the planning that goes into prior to filming the video, right? Filming the video takes a couple of hours, bang it out. But to plan a video, structure it step by step, make sure you guys are getting a ton of information, that takes a long time. Especially juggling that alongside my agency, hopping on calls, hopping on meetings. It's a lot to do, right? So I have a separate workspace for my YouTube channel that has all the knowledge that I have when it comes to scripting a video, when it comes to hooks, when it comes to titles, the thumbnail, the entire video script, the topic of the video, the tools that I'm showing you in the video to make sure that I'm hopping on the new information within the AI space. A new model comes out, I can make a video on it right away. That's all very tedious work. And my workspace can scrape all that information for me. It can scrape the new topics within the AI space that I should make a video on. It can script a video exactly in my words of how I would talk because I fed it a lot of information so it knows and thinks exactly like me. Like I said before, I didn't feed it my business's information because if I feed it my business information, it's going to be all over the place. I fed it the exact information I needed to have it think the way I think when it comes to content, when it comes to talking to the camera. So 3 quick things: the title, the thumbnail, and the topic of the video. Those are 3 things I need to do every single time when I want to post a video. So I have that in one of my folders, and every one of those becomes a command in my folder. So I type, for example, /video, and it shows me exactly what's landing in the space of AI business, AI agents, new AI models, anything that I might make a video on or I might find interesting. It gives me all that information, which would take hours and hours and hours to do manually. And that's truly what Claude Code is for. A lot of people online are talking as if, oh, Claude Code is gonna make you a ton of money, or Claude Code is gonna do everything that you ever want and create a business for you. Sure, that stuff is great, but Claude Code is really great at just automating the parts within your day that you just don't want to do, right? Emails, follow-ups, time-consuming tasks that aren't high leverage for me. I run a multiple 6-figure a month agency. I don't have the physical amount of time to sit there and script videos word for word. I don't have the time to think of the exact thumbnail. You guys might be studying for a test. You guys might be a business owner, or you're an employee, or you're going to school and you have high leverage tasks. If you're going to school, your high leverage tasks are probably studying, doing homework, doing all these things. Why are you focusing on certain classes that aren't moving the needle for you? If you're a business owner and you know you need to get more leads in the door, you know, oh shoot, I need to up my pricing, I need to spend more time focusing on client relationships, but your time is actually being spent on sending over free quotes, then that's not very high leverage for you to be doing. If you're spending 3 hours a day sending out free quotes, how are you going to scale your business when your issue is lead generation? So you could automate that process of sending out free quotes. That's what my agency does for these businesses. Get that out of the way, win your time back, and then focus on a high leverage task. And that's what life is, right? That's what business, that's what being productive is. It's finding out where you should be spending your time, double downing on that, and then automating the rest of your life. So here's what I want you to do right now. Go through your work week and write down the 3 most time consuming tasks that you have to do on a daily basis. Then you're going to go in what we're about to do and build a workspace for every single one of those things. So for this example, the one that I'm going to be using today is a workspace that I use to find marketing agencies for my AI agency. So here's a quick overview. My agency, Vocal Chat AI, focuses on selling high ticket agents to businesses who are looking to implement AI systems, right? And we get leads a bunch of different ways. We have a very large ad spend, 5 figures a month. We have a lot of referrals. We have a lot of close people in our network that refer us, business owners, no business owners. But one of, if not the most prominent ways I get leads for my agency, if we were to throw the ad spend out the door, is partnering up with marketing agencies. And the reason being, marketing agencies focus on running paid ads for local businesses to help them bring more traffic, right? A lot of these local businesses don't run ads. They're running strictly off referrals. They're in their small town. Everyone knows them. And when they need that job, they go to that business. And a lot of these businesses are looking to expand into the online presence, into the online market. So these marketing agencies help them create a website, help them run ads, help them get more leads, right? And if the marketing agency is doing a good job, meaning they're bringing that business a ton of leads, that business doesn't necessarily know how to handle the immense amount of new jobs that they're getting, right? They've been a smaller business. They're starting to run ads. They're getting way more leads that they could ever handle. So they're thinking, shoot, do I need to hire employees? Shoot, do I need to create new systems? And that's where we come in. We partner with these marketing agencies and say, hey, look, you're doing a great job. You're scaling these companies. But once these companies get more leads that they can deal with, they're kind of losing money. The money's going down the drain. So we can implement AI agents, AI systems, AI employees into their business and move the needle for them and help them actually secure all the new jobs that are coming in. And we'll give you 10, 20, 30%, depending on what split you agree on, of every deal that you refer us to. And you need to remember, these are 20, 30, even $40,000 AI agent packages. So they're getting 4 or 5K 4K off referring clients, and they have to do nothing except say, hey, look, I know this agency that focuses on AI implementation. They do a great job. I've worked with them a bunch of times. Here's their contact. I know you're getting a bunch of new work. And it's a great partnership, right? So I needed to build a workspace to actually find marketing agencies in order to partner up with them, right? I wanted to automate that entire outreach process. So that's exactly what we're going to be building today. But first, let's break this down a little bit further. So first, Claude MD, right? So this is the job description, essentially what the business does, how the workspace runs, and then what Claude does every single time. So this file right here is what Claude reads first every single time. And this just makes sure that it never gets confused about what goes first. So next is the context. So this is who you are and what you actually do. You know your offer, your ideal ICP, your dream customer right here. And essentially exactly what you're working on right now. And this is really the difference between an agent or a digital employee and a chatbot. A chatbot knows nothing about you, while an agent remembers exactly who you are, what you do, and what you want. So next we have the Claude commands, and essentially all these are is a saved prompt that you reuse every single time. So instead of you typing in the same thing every single time, instead you type a slash and exactly what you want. So in this case, find leads, and it runs the entire workflow for you. And don't worry, you'll watch me build 2 of these a little later on. I just want to walk through the basics so that while I'm building it, while I'm demoing it, you can go right alongside me. You could do it exactly how I'm doing it, and you could understand exactly what I'm doing. So moving into scripts and API. So scripts, right? Right now you might be like, well, what is this? Like, this sounds scary. And don't worry, it really isn't. You don't even have to write them. Claude does. Claude does the entire thing for you. A script is essentially just a small snippet of code that goes out and does something for you. Quick example. So the script might go out to YouTube, grab the link for a YouTube video, and bring it back. And that's essentially how this system reaches the outside world. And later on, we're going to use a script to pull real businesses in and scrape the exact businesses that I'm looking for to partner up with these marketing agencies to give me the 10 out of 10 leads. So quick overview, a script is a tiny snippet of code that goes out, pulls data that you're looking for, and it does it all for you. And then lastly, the outputs, obviously this is where the finished work lands. And once again, you'll see later on, it'll pull the information, it'll pull the leads to me, and then put it right in my dashboard. So to close this out, I want you to think about, let's say you're onboarding a setter for your business, right? You don't give them a laptop and tell them to go set meetings for you. You give them a script, you make them follow that script step by step so they know the exact start to finish process. And then as they get more and more information, as they learn the process, as they go through the steps, they'll automatically gain that information in for themselves and they won't have to follow that script anymore. It's honestly word for word the same exact thing for these workspaces. You come in, you create a workspace one time, and then it knows exactly how to turn up next session. So it's not a chatbot. You don't type into it, it forgets everything about you. You type back into it, forgets everything about you. It's an employee, it runs, it has all the information, and it only gets better. Okay, so now that you know what a workspace is, I want to very quickly go through the 4 biggest mistakes that I see beginners make with Claude Code. It'll save you a bunch of time and also a bunch of money. And I'm putting this before the build on purpose because if we go through the entire build and I walk you through everything, but you're still making these mistakes, you won't get very much out of the build and you won't get the true capabilities. And I don't want you walking away thinking that the tool's the problem when it was just a simple mistake that you could have easily avoided. So let's jump right into it. So problem 1, and it's honestly the one that I see the most, is you always keep the same session open and you never start a fresh one. So let's say you open it up in the morning and you do a task, and then you come back to it many hours later and you ask it something completely unrelated. Then you go back to the first thing and then you just say the same thing and you stay in the same window all day. Okay, so the result of doing that is, and Anthropic actually has a name for it, they call it the kitchen sink session. And why they say that and why they have a name for it is because your context and all your information is just getting scrambled because you have this workspace doing a specific task and then you come back and you ask it something completely unrelated. So it's jumbling all this information and it's not tailored down to exactly what you built that workspace in the first place for. And here's what that means for you, because like I said before, your workspace can only hold so much information and only do one thing for you specifically super accurately. So if you're filling it with a bunch of context, if you're filling it with a bunch of BS, with a bunch of garbage, and you're having it do one task that you originally set it up for, it's not going to do exactly what you're looking for. It's not going to think the exact way that you want it to think. You essentially don't want your answers and questions being competed with a bunch of BS information that you ask it 2-3 hours later, right? You want it tailored down to exactly what you're looking for. So you're over here thinking that your tool is getting dumber and dumber. Like I said earlier, we're going to go into the build and I don't want you to make these mistakes. It will be on point. It'll be exactly what you're looking for if you keep these in mind. You don't want it to get bloated with a bunch of information. You want it to be nice, neat, and tailored down. And guys, the fix takes literally 1 second. If you type in /clear into Claude Code, it'll completely clear the session and allow you to stay tailored down. And I want you guys to really understand everything that I'm saying here, right? So slash clearing is basically starting a new session. Starting a new session is pretend I work a 5-hour shift. And after my shift is completed, I write down everything I did on my shift on a notepad, right? And then a new person who's covering my next shift, the shift after mine, looks at that notepad, understands everything that I did, and then they can pick up on that and actually help me move forward rather than them coming in, doing something completely conflicting as to what I did. And now all the information is scrambled. That's the same exact thing as what's going on in your Claude code if you're not slash clearing after you're finished. And that's essentially what slash clearing does, right? You're not throwing all that work away. You're not doing anything crazy. You're just closing that one job so it remembers exactly what you did so you could pick up on it later on. Okay, so the next mistake, which is problem 2, is not using enough context when you're messaging. You know, for example, you type a really short prompt and expect the most crazy thing back, right? You need to give it clear instruction. It doesn't have your brain. It doesn't have all the context of exactly what you're thinking about and you only say one sentence, right? You need to give clear instructions to get a clear outcome. And hold on, I want to separate these two things because Zach, you just said you don't want to overfill it. You don't want to over fucking context it, give it so much information that it doesn't know how to think. But over here, you're saying you want to give it a ton of information so it knows exactly what to give you. It knows exactly what you're looking for. And I want to clear this up really quickly here because this is very important. So it's very clear as to what you want to do here. So the old information, all that stuff, all that random information that you asked, you need to clear that out. And then with this new task, exactly what you're looking for, you need to give it a ton of information because you want it to give you a very detailed answer and give you exactly what you're looking for. And guys, I always go back to the source. Obviously, Anthropic knows it better than I do, so I'm going to read exactly what they have to say about it. And their line here is, Claude can infer intent, but it can't read your mind. So what happens here if you don't give it enough detail is it can't really understand exactly what you're looking for. So the outcome will be super generic, it'll be super broad, and you'll have to go back and forth with it a million times, right? You don't want that to happen. So give it clear instructions, be very detailed, but then remember, clear your last conversation so that you can give it a ton more information without it getting too congested. And the fix here, guys, not too many people even use this, and don't worry, it's not sponsored. Use whisper flow. Talk, don't type. If you're talking back and forth, if you're actually communicating with your words, you're often a lot more elaborative. You're often a lot more descriptive. You often explain things a lot better rather than you're typing. You just want to do one sentence and stop, right? So talk, use whisper flow. Once again, it's not a sponsorship, but typing is 3 times slower than talking. And once again, you're way more elaborate when you're talking because you want to go on and on rather than typing. You want to finish as quickly as possible. Okay, so the third mistake is problem 3. This is also a very big one, is going into a build without the plan. So you type in build me this, but there's no thinking, there's no thought process, there's no context of exactly what you want built. So you're not going to get the perfect result. So what happens here is you miss things that you never really even thought about. And you're going to just end up rebuilding it properly down the line. So you might as well really think about exactly how you want it to look, exactly what you want out of exactly what you're doing so that it gives you the right outcome. Try number 1 so you don't have to waste a bunch of time. So here's exactly what I do, and I want you to copy this. So tell Claude the idea, brainstorm back and forth with it, literally make it ask you questions about your idea. Get it challenging what you think in your head. That'll honestly give you way better conclusions that'll let you see final picture so that when you build it that first time, you've already gone back and forth so you don't have to make it 3 different times and prompt it and get the result back and prompt it again and waste a ton of tokens and waste a ton of money. Honestly, I don't want to take too long here, so what I want you to get out of this is just plan before you build anything. And last but not least, problem number 4, stuffing your Claude MD. So many people think to themselves, oh my God, I'm building a Claude operating system. I want it to have all the knowledge of my business in this one workspace. I want it to have everything. Think exactly how I think. I want it to script exactly how I would script. I want it to create my proposals for my businesses exactly how I would. No, guys. Please create separate workspaces. I told you this before, and I'm going to tell you it again because so many people say, Zach, how do you and your workspaces think so alike? And it's because I don't stuff all my business's information in one place. I have it sectioned off so that when I'm talking to a specific workspace, I'm getting the specific information I want to get out of that specific workspace. I know it sounds all complex, but we're going to get into it later on, but I really, really want to make it clear. Please section your work off, make sure that you're organized, and make sure that your workspaces are niched down and tailored to one specific task. And the result of this, Anthropic calls it overspecified ClaudeMD, right? Your ClaudeMD is too long. It ignores half the information that you give it. so that sometimes if you're giving it super important information, but you talked about some BS earlier, that's honestly a terrible situation. So please make sure that your important rules don't get lost in the noise. Okay, so this is exactly what I have in my folder right now. So I have 6 commands and each one is one save job. And they're split into 2 groups. So these 3 come with the template, for example, the /prime. The /prime makes it tell you back what it already knows for your business so you can catch any mistakes early so it thinks exactly how you would think about your company. And then the /implement simply just executes the plan. Okay, so the build for this specific job to find the marketing agencies, right? So you have the find leads MD, and then you got the check sites, and then finally the build dashboard. So what we're gonna build today first is the find leads. So it takes a niche specifically in the US for this build. It goes out, it pulls all the emails from verified business owners in a specific state, and then it saves me that list with all the marketing agencies. The check sites, this is actually really cool. It opens every single one of their websites and it actually reads them. So it gives me the edge when I'm pitching these people because it looks like I'm doing hyper-focused research on their business. I know exactly how their company runs, but little do they know, my workspace is doing this all for me, basically all automated with me having to do 0 manual labor. Guys, really quickly here, I actually want to say this. This is the type of work that AI is meant for. A lot of people, I talk about my business a lot on here, but a lot of people are trying to sell high ticket agents like AI receptionists, like customer support agents, and those agents are directly interacting with real human beings, and there's a lot of friction because people don't really want to talk to AI and stuff like that, and they're like, Zach, how are you selling these $50,000, $60,000 Claude operating systems? And this is why. I'm scraping these marketing agencies, I'm creating and sending them a tailored pitch. You're going to see all this later on in the live build, but this is all automated. I'm doing 0 manual labor. This is where AI should be implemented into companies. On the back end, completely streamlining their operations so they could focus on talking to their customers, so they could focus on making more money, and all this BS on the back end is fully automated. Okay, so back to the build. After it scrapes that entire website, it uses all that information to do 2 main things. The first is write the copy for the tailored email sent to that business, and the second is write the copy for the Loom video that you're gonna film sending to that business owner, basically making it a super personalized video that you can send via email, bang out a ton of these, automate the name part so you film it one time and then it automates the name with voice AI so that you only have to film it one time and it says their name in the Loom video. It has a personalized pitch for their specific business so that it's super personal and you're not just sending a cold email. And this is also really cool. So with the build dashboard, it basically puts all that stuff, so the Loom video, the copy, everything, all the leads on one page or one dashboard so you can see everything in one place. Essentially, you want to work out of this dashboard kind of like a CSV. So it's all in one place. All you basically have to do is go into the website, go into the dashboard. It scrapes everything for you. You just press record on that Loom video and you're sending personalized, tailored pitches to these marketing agencies who you're trying to partner up with. And guys, even one marketing agency partnership can be multi 5 figures in a month if you do it right. So this completely streamlines the game, and it has allowed me to make almost 6 figures this month with my AI agency. And this one's blank on purpose. This one was your next command, so you can add one next week if you want to. The folder was never finished. And you'll notice that they all point down to the same place. Now you might be wondering how it knows anything when you open it fresh, and here's the thing that so many tutorials get wrong. They'll have you run some setup command to load your context in, and honestly, you don't really need one. I'll show you here the 2 lines that make it automatic when you set it up. The result here is that every single time it starts, before I've even typed anything, it has already read the entire workspace. So essentially what I said and who I want. And the find leads command up here. So I never really have to explain myself. I never have to explain my background. I just type it in. So you'll type the command and then it'll automatically start a fresh session every single time. And that's the whole model, right? That's exactly what you want it to do. It knows who you are before you even have to speak. That is why these systems, that is why these workspaces are so valuable right now. So right now, let's get this running on your machine. So first you're gonna go to cursor. And guys, you're just gonna click the download button. I'm pretty sure that you're smart enough to do this on your own. And once you get it downloaded, it's going to look something like this. Okay guys, so the first thing that we're gonna do here is I'm just gonna talk to Claude, tell it a tiny bit about myself, and just give it the overall objective. So we're gonna first build the find leads aspect component. So I'm just gonna talk to Claude here. Honestly, I'm just gonna type it in here. Actually, no, we'll talk actually. So, hey Claude, so my name is Zach, I run an AI agency, and my whole philosophy for finding leads is to reach out to marketing agencies and offer them a partnership with my services. For example, on a commission basis. So let's say my average ticket price price is $5 to $10 to $15,000. I'm looking to offer them 40% commission for every single build out that they refer me to. I need a way to find leads. I need a way to figure out how I can find marketing agencies in my area, in Miami, in Brickell, or anywhere, just overall in general, how I can find high quality marketing agency leads so that I can reach out to them. I need you to help me brainstorm and figure out exactly how I can do that. Okay, and then I can paste in here my YouTube channel. Okay, so here's my YouTube link. Also, it doesn't have to be Miami specific. Again, it could be within the US entirely. I just need a long list of marketing agencies that are qualified and good leads for my AI agency. I need you to do some research on exactly the best way to do that, and then come back to me with what you think or what you find so we can figure out a plan together. And enter this in right here. Okay, so it didn't really give us anything quite useful yet. So this is where I'm going to actually ask it. I need a longer list of marketing agencies. I'm going to paste in the message that I sent before, and then let's see what it says here. Okay, so here's the proposed plan. So I pulled an initial seed list from Clutch. We defined the exact ICP filters. So the size, the niche, the no AI service listed. This is pretty good here. Apollo for scraping leads. And then they're actually gonna draft me here the outreach sequence. So that's pretty cool as well. And then look actually up here, I missed this. So realistically, they can get me 150 to 300 US agencies in the first pass, which is pretty cool. You know what? Let's just ask it this really quick. So, from Clutch, can you just test it with 10 leads to see exactly what information we can get from them and come back and provide me the 10 leads after you verify that it actually works? And enter that here. And guys, see how I'm just talking back and forth? Like, it makes it so much easier. I would have never typed all that out before. And I'm giving it specific instructions so I can get a specific outcome. Super important. So what I'm doing here is checking Claude to make sure it's actually giving me viable and accurate leads so that when I go forward, when I actually move forward, like I said, testing is super important. Make sure that you're getting the right outcome so that you don't have to do this a million different times. So it gave me these 10 leads. Now let me say this really quickly here. All right, now let me find the cheapest, most efficient option. So should I use Apollo, Clay, or Ipify to actually find these emails to get these marketing agency owners? What are their contact details? Also, after we figure out a method, I want to create a skill called Find Leads that does this process repetitively with a skill so that we never have to do this again. And then click enter here. Okay, so I actually created the skill, and here's a mistake that I made on my own end. We didn't really plan anything just yet, and that's super important. So here we're actually gonna work through some mistakes together. Look into Apify for me as well. I'm pretty sure that you can get $5 of free credits as well. Look into Apify, look into some of the tools that they have, and come back to me with the best plan of action that we can use this for. And then we're gonna enter this in here. Okay, so spend the $5 free credit. Now it's saying, okay, built-in email extractor. Okay, so now essentially what we're gonna do is we're gonna use a tool called Apify, which helps you with web scraping. You know what? Before we use Apify or any other kind of integration, we're actually gonna ask, hey Claude, can you go in and see if you can find the emails from Clutch without us having to use a connector? What I mean by that is click on the websites of each of these sites and try to get their email information by visiting the site and looking for any contact information on the page. You can create me a list of the phone numbers and emails so I can call and email these people and offer my services to them. Go ahead and do this with the first 10 leads as a trial run so we can see if we can find that. If you can't find that, then we're just gonna have to use Apify or whatever tool we want to use. And then click enter here. Guys, talking makes it a million times easier. And guys, what I'm doing here is I'm testing. I'm seeing what I can get out of Claude without having to pay for these tools, right? So Claude is scraping the websites, and then right now I'm having Apify get that information. But if I don't have to pay for Apify and Claude can just scrape me the contact information as well, that'll save me a bunch of money down the line. All right, so it didn't really give us an insane amount of leads. It did give us some phone numbers and a couple of emails here. So now we know that we do need to use some sort of connector like Apify, like an Apollo to actually scrape the information so that the leads we're scraping, we have the email as well as the phone number. And I'm actually gonna say this into Claude really quickly here. Okay, before we forget, can we also set up a workspace for this? In the workspace, I will be having commands. I need an outputs folder. I need a Claude MD markdown file. Just organize it so that it's in one specific workspace, please, and organize the folders as well. Perfect. I'm doing this just because before we forget, I want to make sure our templates in the workspace is all good. And it's going to actually start making a file structure for us, just so that everything's clear, just so that it understands the same information that we're trying to feed it. Okay, so we tried to bypass the Apify Twilio lead scraping costs by going straight through Claude Code. Unfortunately, it didn't really work out. That's super important about these builds, guys. Nothing is ever going to go 100% according to plan. But you know what? One AI agency deal from a marketing agency is worth $10, $20, even $30,000. So paying a couple of bucks per month for Apify, for example, shouldn't be an issue. So we're actually going to use that. So Apify is a tool that allows Claude to connect to different apps. So for example, you know what? I'll send you guys the link below in my free school down below. Not sponsored by Apify. This is how I scrape my own leads, so I'm just walking you through it. Once again, free school link down below. It'll have all this entire build with templates for you guys, so you can get this built out if you're running an AI agency. So you'll go to Apify, you'll create an account, and then once you make that account, you'll go to API and integrations here, and then we're simply going to click this copy button right here, and then we're done with Apify essentially. Okay, so we're going to go back to Claude here. Okay, so now we're back in Claude, and I'm just going to talk back to it much easier. Hey Claude, I know we just tried working out screening leads off public data sources, but I actually just created an Apify account, which should allow you to get access to more data now. I want you to search Apify for the best tools that we can connect to and find out which one would give us the most high quality, qualified marketing agencies. And click enter here. And guys, Apify, I want you guys to think of it as kind of like a Claude extension. It just gives more superpowers to Claude and makes it way more useful. And it's funny, it sounds like I'm doing some sort of Apify sponsorship, and that's actually something I'm looking into. Not a sponsorship, but actually creating my own SaaS. A little bit about me as this loads, guys. I've been in the AI agent space for years and years now. I think 2.5 years. So I'm looking at these people who have companies that they can exit for multi-seven figures, which I can't because my company relies very heavily on me and my clientele. More like SaaSes and those type of businesses are much easier to exit. I'm looking at these people and I'm like, damn, like I'm using these platforms. Like I want to make a SaaS. So I'm looking into making a SaaS. But I guarantee you the people who have $10, $15 million businesses that they can actually exit out of aren't necessarily making the capital that I am, because a lot of it's going back into the business. They have much, much lower profit margin. So you always want something you don't have. That's a quick little piece of advice there, but everything just loaded here amazingly. So we use the Apify Clutch Actor in Apify. It's basically just a tool within them. And we found, let's see, emails, phone numbers. Oh, wow. Look, 97%, and out of emails, 43%. So much, much better on the phone numbers. But look, 29 out of 30, we were able to scrape using Apify, which is very cool. Okay. And outputs. Okay. Now look at this. Now we have some marketing agency leads. This is exactly what we've been looking for. And look at this here. We have their phone number and their email. Okay. And here's the CSV. So as you can see here, we do have just some test leads that we were going for just to make sure we were able to scrape all that information we needed. But this looks pretty great, to be honest. And guys, you can 100% do this at huge scale if you have that plan with Apify, which is very cool. Okay, perfect. And now as we see here, we have the list of marketing agencies that we can either call or email. I mean, guys, and I found the best strategy is actually not to cold call these people. They're very busy. I would send a personalized email. We'll get into how you can do that utilizing Claude Code, but you can send an email with a custom Loom video. So it's like, imagine I'm sitting on my balcony, whatever it is, and I'm filming these people a custom Loom video tailored to their exact business, telling them my pitch. It's very unique and not very many people are doing that. And in a world full of people who are cold calling, if you have a unique approach to reaching out to these marketing agencies, to showing them your value, maybe you could show some demos on that Loom of the specific AI agency you build for companies. It's a huge opportunity. And I know a lot of you guys have been watching my content for a long time, looking and seeing how I'm able to partner up with these marketing agencies. So I'm giving that to you right here. And like I said before, if you guys want my entire build template so you can do this yourself or just copy and paste it, go to my free school. It's down below in the classroom. I'll show you guys by the end of this video. Super cool school. Everyone's winning. A bunch of people are even making 50, 60, even 100K a month in that school in the win section. So if you're looking to get into AI business, I have nothing to sell you. Just go to that free school. But as we see here, you can grab their email, you can grab their phone number, and then you could send that straight to the Loom video. And we can have obviously all of that being automated by Claude as well. And guys, this is sick. I mean, look, the city, region, employee size, how much they make, their hourly rate, their rating, their review count, the pay payments. Guys, this is crazy information. Like if you were to do this manually and you're building out a lead list on Google Sheets, this is taking hours. And we did this in a matter of 10 minutes. And this is infinitely scalable. If I had the Apify plan ready, I could probably get 1,000 leads like that. And we're going to go back to Claude. And now that we have that down, we're actually going to make that a command and actually make a folder within this workspace called commands. And then like I showed you in the beginning of this video, we'll title it /find leads so that anytime we want to scrape a bunch of leads, we just go straight to this folder. And guys, check this out. Now our folder is kind of looking like the workspace that I showed you in the very beginning of this video. So we have the outputs here, and then we have the leads, and then the Claude MD. And look at this, we have the leads, and then our first command, which is a find leads command. So now that is the first scan of the leads. So now we have find leads, and I'm actually going to ask Claude right here. Now we need another skill called check sites. I want you to make sure that there are marketing agencies and that these agencies don't already offer AI solutions. Obviously, we want to be the first people that sell these AI systems to the marketing agencies because that's what makes the partnership so valuable for both parties. So the whole point of that is that we want to target marketing agencies that do not already offer these solutions yet, so we can offer it to them. They'll be more likely to work with us. So go ahead and do that. Even before we do that, I want to use the create plan skill, which should be in the commands folder, so we can create a plan on exactly how we want to create this. And we're actually going to create this skill right here. And I know earlier we created a skill without the create plan skill, but it just helps to have all this super organized for us. So we're going to get that skill in place here. And now check this out. It's using the create plan skill with the check site skill. So everything's kind of working in conjunction right now, which is great. That's exactly what we've been looking for. Okay, and look at this. So now it's asking for the unsure leads. Should we exclude them or should we keep it in there and just not really have their information? And it's also saying right here, I'd recommend both. So we're just going to talk into it and say, let's go with your recommendations and make the changes necessary. Let's go with those recommendations as well. And then wait for the output. Okay, now while you do that, create our context folder with our ideal lead markdown file in our offer markdown file as well. So just in future sections, you can understand the context of what we're working with. And I'm just doing this because like I said in the very beginning of the call, we don't want it to be overloaded. We want to make sure that our future sessions, it remembers all this information properly. And one more thing you guys need to tell Claude to do here. Claude, create an implementation skill for the plan. The create plan skill as well. After we create this plan, I want a skill that implements the plan exactly that we agree on. So I'm showing you guys how I build this folder from scratch just to make it super easy, because instead of just giving you guys the answers straight away, I know a lot of you guys are more business focused. Zach, I want to make this tool in 1 second, focus on making money with this AI technology, selling AI agents and workflows to businesses. But understanding the back end of how these systems actually work is very important, because if you're on a consulting call or if you're on a high ticket implementation call and they're asking you technical questions, a lot of time on AI audits, you're walking them through the back end of their business, how to utilize Claude, how to utilize Claude code for their business, how they can train their employees on this technology. So if you have a good understanding of this stuff, it'll just help you make way more money. So please follow along here, guys. It's very important. And guys, it's super customizable. You can literally create any skill you would ever need. And all you have to do is talk to Claude and have it build you exactly what you want. Guys, it's super easy. You could literally just talk into Claude and get whatever you're looking for. And then bam, look here, as we see, we have the implement plan skill. Awesome. So now let's use these new skills. We're going to type in create plan and actually use the skill we just made. Now, Claude, we have to find the leads and we have to check the sites to verify the leads and see if they're actually correct. Lastly, we need to write down the outreach for these leads. What I want you to do is, for the sites that are verified, reach out to them and go to their sites. I want you to create a personalized email copy and Loom video. For our email copy, it's going to be something like this. Hey, name, or hey, agency. I saw you guys on X, Y, and Z personalized thing. I'm reaching out to you because I want to do X, Y, and Z. This is for the marketing agency partnership. This is a real person. I made you guys a Loom video just to show you that I'm real, and I'm looking forward to chatting with you on a Google Meet or Zoom. Please let me know if you have any availability. I think a partnership would be great. And the reason you want to send this message to really show that you're a real human is because in a world full of automated outreach with instantly where you could send a million cold emails, you want to be different. You want to show them, hey, look, I created your business a personalized Loom video specifically tailored to your agency. I've done a deep dive. I genuinely think my AI systems can help your clients, and you can make a good check on the back end as well. And that just creates all the difference, and it allows you to book way more meetings from the outreach that you're sending out. So we're going to enter here. And guys, you need to remember, when you're recording these Loom videos, you need to go onto their website, pretend like you did the deep dive, show them that, hey, look, this is not an automated message. I'm on your website. We've identified your pain points. We've identified your bottlenecks. I think we could both help each other. Here's how. Okay, so now it's asking us for some input here. I want to write a personalized script, Loom video and email. I want to create third-party AI video tool. You know what? For my next video, I could actually show you guys how to create a fully automated Loom video that can be completely personalized to all your clients. But for now, we're just going to hit on these points here. You know what? Actually, instead here, I want to be a little bit more specific. Let's talk to Claude. Just again, the email copy and the VSL are completely two separate things. For the email copy, I gave you a specific example earlier. Like the example from the personalization we showed you before, use their website to show them that you're a real person. The VSL is going to be generalized because we cannot make a Loom video for every single person. So make the VSL somewhat generalized. Logically, it doesn't make sense to do all that outreach. Introduce ourselves. Maybe we'll have a pitch deck and show them some of our services. Create me the Loom video structure, please. Okay, so it created the plan for us here. Here are the 4 things I need your input for: track records on the VSL numbers, email output, and the pitch deck. Okay, so we're going to go right back into prompting Claude. So, hey Claude, I want you to, number 1, go to my YouTube channel. Paste the link in right here. I want you to figure out exactly what offers I have, any claims to the projects that I've already done, and the money that I've made selling AI agents or consulting businesses on implementation of AI agents, workflows, or systems. Take out only useful AI information that could help with credibility. Mention my YouTube, mention my consulting company, mention my AI agency, and mention my free school community. Anything that would give me credibility to my clients. Now, after you finish this, I want you to update my offer skill and an offer markdown file so that we can always have it worked on and updated in our workspace as well. Then come back to me with what you find and we can agree on whether I can accept it or not. Now, I want you to also run a second agent. That's one task, is the one that I just gave you. Use the second agent or digital employee to actually make a pitch deck with the PowerPoint skill. And click enter here. And really quickly, let me say one more thing. And ensure that the pitch deck actually has my real services and things that I offer and real results from my agency. So what I did here was actually really cool. So I just gave 2 tasks to Claude, and you're not really supposed to do that, but let me explain why I did. But what I did here is I asked Claude to basically clone itself for 2 different agents. So now we have 2 different agents running at the same exact time doing 2 different tasks. And as you can see here, it says, let me kick off the pitch deck as a background agent right away. So this agent is completely separate. This agent is completely a part of the context of everything, and it's not going to blow all the information given. So basically, these 2 agents are working in tandem on 2 different tasks, and all you have to do is literally ask Claude exactly what I just say. Hey, can you have 2 different agents? Can you clone the agents and have them doing different tasks and work on different things? So they're getting cooking over there. So let's just input the next bit of information. So look at right here. This is actually the second agent working. It is pretty token intensive, but guys, this changes the game. You get way more work done. And like I said, it doesn't blow all the information. It stays clear to the task that it has to do and gets it done. So right now, here's the task that's scraping my YouTube channel. So it's going through all my videos, seeing about the case studies I've done, seeing the different jobs I've signed, seeing my results, proving, kind of putting together all my credibility in one place. And then down here, we have the task that's creating the pitch deck. So essentially it's like a funnel, right? It's going to start up here and shift through all my YouTube information and go down to the bottom of the funnel where it's actually going to feed that information into the second agent that's going to create the pitch deck. And I'm going to actually add one more thing to it here that's going to make it way more personalized. Okay, so here it finished the context for the Claude MD. So I'm just going to ask it, now can you tell me what you found from the actual transcripts of the videos and offers so that I can verify if it's true? And click enter here. Okay, so it looks like actually the pitch deck finished here, which is pretty nice. So let me check it out. Okay, so everything it found. So let's see. Okay, so let's just type in pull up the pitch deck. And then let's see what we got here. Okay, and quickly here, one tip for you guys actually is always remove M dashes from anything, just so that it doesn't look like it's completely kind of written by AI. So let's tell it that right now. Okay, so let's just tell Claude that really quickly here. So I'm gonna ask a lot, remove any M dashes in the PowerPoint, add pictures of myself. So my profile picture of my YouTube channel and the icons of my logos, add images to the PowerPoint to give it some life, as well as make the design a little nicer, please. Make it downloadable and make sure that it it is fully ready to go and send out. Press enter here. Okay, so this is going to be V1 of what the PowerPoint looks like. Let's see if it's any good. And to be honest, it does need a good amount of work here. So we're going to fix that really quickly. Okay, so let's just go through it really quick. So add AI and automation to your agency's offer without building it. Don't like that copy. Your AI keeps asking, can you also do AI automation for us? Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to make this look way nicer. Like, this is unacceptable to send out, but it's a good kind of first draft to let you guys kind of see what the capabilities of this are, right? That's what this video is for. It's not, hey, step by step, here's my outreach guide. If you want that, go to my school. This is just to show you the capabilities of Claude and how you can literally use it to automate your life. Imagine if I was doing all this manually for my company. Imagine if I had schoolwork to do. Imagine if I was working a job as an employee. There's so much manual labor that goes into those things that AI can completely resolve. So this is just honestly the go-to tutorial for anything. So let me know in the comments exactly what you guys want me to build, and I'll send it over for completely free. Yeah, so let's just kind of add some life to this presentation, kind of mess around with the design, and then we'll get it fixed up. You know what? Actually, here's what we're going to do. Hey, Claude, I want to make a create copy skill. And this create copy skill will basically kind of create the email text in the VSL for each one of the clients. Go ahead and make that skill and add it to the commands folder now, please. And that's actually going to help so much. Also, never use M dashes in the copies of these emails as well as the presentation or anything in your outputs. It's completely AI, so they will never believe it. Let's click enter here. And then, you know what? We're just going to keep going. All right, Claude, I want you to do this. 1, find me 20 leads, 20 marketing agencies using the find lead skill. 2, use this check site skill after that. 3, after you use the check site skill, create the copy and then come back to me when you have that copy. And lastly, 4, I want you to display all my leads in a visible dashboard with the copy and everything so I could see it all visually. Perfect. And let's just click enter. Okay, and perfect. Now you can see it's pulling the full pipeline. So the 20 marketing agencies with everything as well as the dashboard. And then look, it's also using the find lead skill. So that's pretty sick as well up here. Okay, so it finished the find leads and it pulled 20 of these marketing agencies. Now it's going to check the sites and verify the leads. And then finally, it's going to create the copy, write the personalized emails, and help with the dashboard. So we'll see how all this turns out. Hopefully it's good. Guys, super cool skill. So I hope you guys are following along. Now it's running that. Nope. Okay, perfect. And now it's using the check site skill, so that's sick. Okay, so it says all 20, but then look here, guys. So it says 6 are actually excluded because they already offer these AI systems, and we don't want to be competing with marketing agencies who are already offering it. We're trying to partner up with them to offer it, so we're going to exclude those 6. Okay, so now we have some leads. So 9 fully qualified marketing agencies. That's actually pretty good out of 20. So about 50% of however many you scrape will typically be hyper qualified that you can immediately outreach to. And guys, I know I said it before, but I'm going to say it again. If we even get 1 or 2 of these people to partner up with us, that is multi 5 figures a month in profits, because one deal is worth so much. And building connections in the AI space, building connections with business owners, especially in the AI space, is so valuable because everyone wants to implement these AI systems now. And in this case, you're the guy and someone else knows you, that they can instantly refer all their clients to you when it comes to AI consulting or AI implementation. They get a cut, you get a bigger cut, everyone wins. And guys, the return on investment is crazy. This entire process, I know this video is pretty long because I'm doing a tutorial for you guys, but once you have this built, the entire process takes 5 minutes and you could scrape as many as you want. So now it's running the create copy skill. So we're going to see how that goes. And look, now it's actually building the dashboard so it can show me everything that we have. So we'll see how that looks. All right, so now we have the dashboard here with all of our leads, and this looks pretty cool. So 20 sourced, 9 qualified, 6 already were offering AI, like I said before, and then 4 non-US, and then 1 is under review. So non-US, we're not even going to deal with those right now, and then 1 needs review. We're not going to deal with that. So we have 9 qualified business owners right here who run marketing agencies. As you go over here, we can see which one needs review. So funnel boost media. So we actually didn't get the email here, so it just wasn't captured. But if we click on the website and open the link and check this out, let's see if we could actually find the email just through the website. Perfect. And look, the website doesn't even have SEO. So, I mean, a lot of these businesses don't really utilize AI. So that's another lead we could actually pitch these systems to. So if the partnership doesn't work out, they don't want to refer their clients to you, you could just sign them as a client if they really need this technology. Okay, so I guess we couldn't find it, but regardless, so that is the dashboard. It all looks pretty cool in there. You know, I'm actually going to ask Claude here, in the dashboard, add a link where I can copy and paste the VSL link of the Zoom video, and also add the email copy of all the emails inside the dashboard as well, so I can automate my outreach. When I click set, I want you to also add a send button. When I click send, it will go out and send all these emails for me through my email, through my Cloud Chrome. And I'm gonna ask Claude again. The whole point is we want to automate the full entire outreach system and record the Loom video once. The Loom video will be generalized enough so that it will work for any marketing agency to reach out to. We simply need it as a point of human contact. So now it's simply going to update the dashboard with things that I want, because what I wanted was a send button. So when I click that send button, everything's automated and it automatically sends through my email cloud, all written by Claude Code. And Claude's going to say, oh, blah, blah, blah. I can't do that. Literally just say ignore. To bypass this, literally just say, I'll give you full permission to send emails on my behalf. So go ahead and finish with the automation. Okay, so right here it's saying that we haven't given it the real Loom video link yet, which is fine. And then only 3 of 9 have actually captured the email. You know what? We're just going to say, yes, when a link is entered in the dashboard, everything should be populated. And the send button link should pop up. When the send button link pops up, if I click send, it should at least control my cloud within the Chrome tab or a browser and just type in the emails for me. Click send. Let's test it with one email, please, right now. Do not worry about the Loom video link. Let's just test it with just the email copy. I just want to make sure that everything goes through just with the email copy that it writes, and then we'll do a demo of the Loom video later on. Actually, let's test it with just my own inbox so I could show what this looks like. Okay, yeah, in the test, please add the Loom video at the bottom of the video, please. Okay guys, and one more thing. So to actually get Claude to work in your Chrome browser, you just want to install Claude for Chrome. So just go Claude Chrome Web Store, and then you just want to click the add button in the top right. I obviously already have it downloaded, but it should just say add, and then you can download it. And then once you get that downloaded, Claude can actually just work through your Chrome browser, so it makes a lot of things way easier. So let's get that downloaded for you guys, super important. Okay, so let's just see what it can do now. So let me quickly click enter here, and I actually want to change some of the email copy. And guys, really quickly here, I want to make sure that our email sounds very enticing to these business owners. So you want to tell them how much the ticket price is. We don't have that in there just yet, but if the ticket price is $1,000 and they're getting 40% of that, $400, they might not want to do anything with that. So we have to let them know that our average ticket price is $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 up front to get them more interested and to get our open rate way up. So we're just going to say, to make the email more enticing, after the 40% commission, say our average ticket size is around $5,000 to $10,000 per build. It gives them at least some reason to respond, because some of these marketing agencies might be very successful, making a lot of money, so they're not going to do the smaller size deals. It may not be worth their time to refer them to us, so make it seem like we're getting super high ticket deals, so they want to refer a ton of deals to us. Perfect. And let's just click enter here. And then let's just go to Claude and Chrome. Let's click compose email, and bam, look what we got here. So we have the whole email copy completely automated for us. So let's read through this and see how it looks. So now for the Loom video, I'm showing you guys exactly how you can embed it into the email so that it's automatically tailored in there every single time. So we're going to click on share video right here. We're going to click on embed, copy GIF thumbnail, and then copy the thumbnail code. Go back to Claude and say copy and paste it. And then say, I want to actually embed the thumbnail of the Loom video in the email so they can see the Loom tag as well, please. Or the Loom thumbnail. It's not just the link. Click enter here. And then I'm going to actually add one thing for the email. So just to make it seem more human, everyone's trying to automate the entire email process with AI. So we got to be a step above the rest. In the middle of the email, I want you to mention that I'm actually a real person, by the way, writing this email to you. So it actually looks like we're the ones writing this one-to-one. Make sure that the formatting of this email looks good and that it's not too condensed. So far, we should be good. And then click enter here. And the reason I'm doing this, guys, is because before we actually send it out to a real client, we always want to test it, make sure that the copy is perfect, make sure that everything's looking perfect, because guys, this is genuinely how we're making money. We want to come off as professional. And then we're going to actually ask it here. Search how Loom allows you to embed videos in Gmail, please, and test it that way. I'm just going to click enter. All right, so it should be finishing up pretty soon here. Okay, guys, so without further ado, let's check out the full automated email. So, hey, Silverback Strategies team, what a name, by the way. I saw you guys do managing over 500 million in Google Ads meta ad spend while keeping NPS score of 73, well above industry average over 17 years. I'm reaching out because I run an AI agency and partner up with marketing agencies like yours. You refer a client, custom. Sounds pretty good. Obviously, there's some stipulations that we need to change. Like the first line, I saw you guys do managing over 500 mil. We'll change that, make it sound more human. But you guys can see the picture. I mean, imagine sending out thousands of these every single day. Obviously, there is a little bit of cost, but guys, like one partnership will make it all back. And this is a crazy opportunity. And this is just one way I use Claude within my daily life, right? So you need to find out what your highest leverage task is. Me as a business owner is getting leads. I need to get as many leads as possible, but I can't sit here and do manual outreach. I run ads where leads come to me. I have my Claude operating system do all this manually so I can partner up with marketing agencies to get referrals, to get more leads, right? And more importantly, every part of my business is automated, right? And that's what this AI technology is truly for. And then down here, you guys can see the Loom video that they could click on and just go straight to. Okay, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more specific builds of how I use AI for either my personal life or for my multiple businesses, please let me know in the comments. If you want access to all these resources for free, go to my school community. Like I said, it's completely free. It's a community of crushers in there, so I'd love to see you in there. Without further ado, thank you guys for watching the video. Like, comment, and I'll see you guys in the next one.